Good afternoon. I have something to say, and you can see behind me, right there, I have sat here at my computer. I've been up here cleaning a little bit up here in the loft area, and I found a book, and I feel led to say something, and I'm going to do it. I am. I got to make sure I'm being heard. I'm sure I am. Let me see. I know that it may not be a message that some may want to hear, but I'm going to say it. I am. Let me do it. So you might want to listen. You might. I'm going to listen because I don't know what I had to say. But I'm going to listen. I'm going to move myself out of the way. You can see right here. There I am. And I'm going this way. Right? Let me do this. And I'm going to play it just like this. And I'm going to mute myself so that I can hear myself on this thing right here. Let me get over here. And I'm going to push it. Let's see if I can do it. Everything seems to be a go. T honey, I'm going to come back on here for you, T honey. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to say it, T honey, just for you, honey. I am. I'm going to say it. I'm going to see if I can push this, if I can navigate it. Okay, we're going to do it. Let's see. Good afternoon. So, I thought, Gina, honey, you cannot be sitting around doing nothing. You got to do something. So I've been straightening up here just a teeny tiny bit. And I found this book. This is called the Book of Love. And I've got 4-leaf clovers, 5-leaf clovers, 6-leaf clovers, and all through it I do. I just put clovers all in it. I wanted to press the clovers that I found inside this little book. You can see like some of them, just like they're pressed in here. But your word. Words. We know that words are very, very powerful. I want to just read just a little bit of this, what it says in the beginning about words in relationships. Be a person of your word. Words and the way our actions do or don't stand behind their meaning have an incredible capacity to wound us or heal us. In a very real sense, words create reality. We all invest one another's words with our own hopes, fears, and expectations. Therefore, to keep love alive, be a person of your word. Gina, honey, why are you talking about love? Well, love's the most important thing on earth to me. It really is. We need to build the love within us in all your relationships. But this is about words. How your words and the way your actions do or do not stand behind their meaning have an incredible capacity to wound or heal us. And I'm going to read this other part of it, the very end. You know, there's some things that are unavoidable. It is. Things happen, and yeah. Being a person of your word, this is very important, will build a fortress of trust in your relationship, and that trust will allow you to truly savor the words of love and praise that are the hallmark of an abiding love. So just think about it. Your words, when you keep them, you build a fortress of trust. A fortress of trust is something that cannot be taken down. Okay, it keeps you. It keeps you. It does. When you say something, your words, they're very powerful, and oftentimes people's actions do match their words. But when your actions don't match your words, and when you promise to do stuff and you don't do it, it erodes a relationship, is what happens. The erosion of a relationship. And it's true. We've all seen relationships erode. Like when you promise your child's really looking forward to spending time with you, and that time comes and you don't do it, and it's something that happens time and time again. That erodes the trust in that relationship with your child. Same thing can go with adults and stuff like that, you all. Your words are very, very powerful. And I like that word, fortress. You build a fortress of trust with your words. That's very powerful. And it is true. It is true. I'm sure that there are people in your life who, if they say they're going to do something, their actions are going to back it up. You're going to see it coming into fruition. You are. And if there isn't, there's going to be a really good reason as to why not. And you can look at your words as a commitment, really, commitments that you make. And when your actions don't follow those words that you committed, that's not nice either. It isn't. Just ask a child, because they don't really understand. Why not? Because they look up to you. They really do. And they kind of feel let down. They do. And if you look at it from a child's point of view, they kind of feel unloved. They do. If you're a parent and you've been promising things to your children and spending time with them or taking them somewhere, and it doesn't happen time and time again, you're kind of hurting that child's feelings. You are. You can say that also when you grow up. It's still the same thing, you all. It's still the same thing in relationships. It is. Your words are very powerful. They have the ability to heal you, and they have the ability to wound you. The old saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. Really? Really? There's been plenty of people in life, and you're one of them, when someone said something, oh, those words harmed you. Or those words had a healing effect upon you. If you're going to build a fortress with your words, a fortress of trust, you better keep your words. Let your words do more healing than they do wounding. You want to make a promise. You want to keep that promise. You want to spend time with your children. Spend time with your children. Don't let it be something that happens time and time again. You say something and you don't do it. Because there are people. There are. And you may be one. You may have good intentions. Say you're going to do something, and it don't happen. And it keeps happening, and then before long, people are going to think, well, you said you were going to do it. I thought you was going to do it, but you didn't do it. And then that is an erosion of trust. Now, me personally, I am a person of my word. If I tell you I'm going to do something, you can rest assured I am going to do it. If I make a commitment to someone, I'm going to do it. If I say I'll do this with you, I'm going to do it. If I tell my children I'm going to do something, we're going to go here or we're going to go there, I'm going to drop everything and I'm going to make sure that happens unless something totally unexpected happens. And then I'm going to say I'm sorry, and I'm going to plan another time where I can do it as soon as possible. You want to build a fortress of trust within all your relationships, whether it's with your children, whether it's with your friends, whether it's within your marriage, whether if it's within your workplace. It doesn't matter. Whether if it's on the YouTube, virtually. You're looking at me on the YouTube and I say I'm going to be a certain way and this is how I am. And then my actions are not matching my words. Then we got an erosion of trust. An erosion of trust, and then you ain't going to know whether or not you can trust Gina, honey. That's right. If I claim I'm all about love and you're saying something totally different, then Gina, honey's got to disconnect, and I'm going to have to get rewired really soon. I really am, because that ain't right. You all listen. It's love. Love is the key to everything. It is, and you can't have good relationships when your words don't line up with your actions. You can't. Ask anybody if they like being told, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and then it don't happen. Ask the person on the receiving end who's been told something and it doesn't happen, how that makes them feel. Does it make them feel really good and happy? You think, oh, I just love it. I love breaking of promises and things like that. I love it when you don't follow through when you say something, even though you do it all the time. I'm trying to hold out a little bit of hope that maybe this time it might be different. No, you all, no. You want to build a fortress of trust with your words. It's essential for any relationship. It's if they can't trust you in your workplace when they want you to do this job and you say, I'm going to do it, I'm going to get it done, and they're coming back and then you've had all day long and you still ain't got that done when it would have took you maybe an hour or two, I don't know if you're going to be too trustworthy, especially if you have a habit of doing the same thing day after day after day. No, come on, you all. I've seen it in the workplace. You want somebody to do something, just something very simple. They say they're going to do it. They might have good intentions when they give you their word. But then their word just like sprouts wings. It flies away. And when it comes time and you're checking up on them, well, do you got that done? Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I had some problems and stuff like that. I'll get it done. Well, I needed it a while back, and you haven't even started. Or you have the people. They have no intention. They're going to tell you what you want to hear. They are. We're talking about your word, trust, and relationships. I am relationship oriented. I am. You got people who have no intentions of following through with what they say. But they saying it because they know you want to hear it. Well, and then when those words are not followed by actions, or there's an excuse after excuse after excuse, well, I'm sorry, that erodes relationships. It really does. It truly does. Do you know how many people out there are people of their words, and then how many people who are not people of their words, even though they have good intentions? Do you know that it drives us batty? It drives us batty. We're thinking for the life of us, why can't you just do this simple thing? If you don't want to do it, then don't say you're going to do it. There is a scripture about that. It's the person who says, okay, I'm not going to do it. I'll work for you. I'll do this and that. And the person, well, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. But then when it comes down to it, the person who said they weren't going to do it, even though they were asked, and they turn around and do it, it's better for them than the person who says, I'm going to do it, and then they don't do it. You don't want to promise something. You don't want to say you're going to do something and then don't do it, because it looks a lot worse than the person who said, no, I don't want to, but then they turn around and they do it. They do follow through. Gina, what are you talking about? I'm talking about LOVE. Get you some love today. In your relationships, build a relationship of trust. Let your words build a fortress of trust in your relationships. Let it be grounded in love. God is love. Let it be rooted and grounded in LOVE. And you cannot go wrong with that. You can't. You want a solid foundation, completely solid. You cannot build a solid foundation on mistrust. You can't. It doesn't happen. Your foundation's going to have cracks all through it. And before long, it's going to crumble, and you ain't going to have nothing to stand on. And your relationship is going to fall through the cracks. Okay? So love, your word, your relationships, your promises, your words have the power to heal. They do. They have the power to wound. That saying, sticks and stones don't break my bones. They may break my bones, but words don't harm me. Well, sometimes people would rather get hit with sticks and stones than to be hit with somebody's words, because that's going to be causing a whole lot more damage. It's going to scar them emotionally for life. In some instances, you don't want that, you all. Please don't do it. Be a person of your word. And if you're not a person of your word, and you know, well, I'm trying to do better, I really am trying, well, keep trying. And eventually you're going to get it right. It's the intent within your heart. There's a lot of people, they want to do good, and they may not have any good role models. They may not have. You may be surrounded by people at your workplace. Well, everybody says they're going to do something and they don't. You may have friends who do that. You may have parents who do that. You may have brothers and sisters who do that. You may. Well, it can start with you. Okay? You make the decision within your own being that you're going to be a person of your word. Okay? Make that decision. And tell yourself, I'm going to build a fortress of trust with my words in my relationship, because I want the relationship to last. I don't want to be known for someone who doesn't do that. I want my relationships to last. I want to build my relationships up. I want to secure them with a firm foundation. Okay? It's love. God is love. That's your foundation. It's love. If you follow the path of love, you're going to be okay as long as you follow it and you're anchored in it. Okay, Gina, why are you saying this? It popped into my head. I'm up here trying to straighten up this office area up here, trying to put some things away, and I got this little bitty book of LOVE, and it was on words. It was love. You got to know one another like the seasons, you all. You do. You do. How are you going to get to know somebody if you don't spend time with them? Really, if you're never there for your children, if you're never there for your spouse, if you're never there for your friends, if you don't have communication with people, even your co-workers. I've worked with people. They don't communicate. You can't get nothing out of them, and they want you to know that they're not a talker. Okay, you want to be able to sit down with your children and have conversations with your children also. You do, because those conversations mean the world to your children. You want to set the example. You want your children to grow up, and you want them to know how to communicate in a healthy way without screaming and hollering. Okay, screaming and hollering in relationships is not good either. Okay, that's words that damage. Screaming and hollering. just so you can get your message out. How about you try to be on the receiving end of someone screaming and hollering? Put yourself in that person's shoes and tell me, how does that feel? If the tables were reversed, would you like it? In any relationship, no, you would not like it. You may say, well, I don't care. Oh, you would care. If the circumstances was right and you were at a very vulnerable moment in your life and somebody did that to you, what you do to other people, you will care because it's going to wound you. Don't use your mouth to destroy others. Don't do it. Don't let bad things coming out of your mouth, belittling and stuff like that, just to tear someone else down so that you can build yourself up. That's a weakness in my book. When you go around using your words to assert your power over someone else by belittling them, speaking down to them, not keeping your word, breaking your promises, doing things you ought not do, your words and your action, well, you're weak. If that's the path you take, by stepping all over people and blaming people without taking the blame yourself for your own actions and your own words, instead of saying, well, it's your fault. You made me do it. You made me say that. You made me do this. No. That's a weakness on your behalf when you can't own up to what you yourself do through your words or your actions. You all, this, if I could fix all the relationships in the world, if I could just wave a magic wand, we had some little pixie dust, sprinkle it all over the place, shower it down on the whole populace of the earth, shower down some love, and it would have to be the real thing to where it literally would coat them from the outside and sink all the way down inside their heart, I would do it in a heartbeat. I would. The whole world, cover the whole world in love, make sure it got embedded in their heart, and make sure when it did, it was solidified and nothing would be able to penetrate it. The world would be a better place, and the people would change, and the people, they would think twice before they open their mouth and say something that's not kind. They would think twice before they say they're going to do something and they don't do it. They would. It would be a beautiful place to live in. It would. Relationship problems would be solved. Problems on the earth would be solved. It would, because everything would be done in love and out of love and for love. We would have compassion. We would have kindness. We would nurture one another. We would build each other up. We would do things for one another. And we would enjoy it. We would be happy. Gina, you're talking about fantasy. It doesn't have to be a fantasy. It doesn't. It's real world for some individuals. It really is. Sometimes it's a one-way street in this world that we live in because we're taught not to value love at the core of our being, because we're taught you can't survive on love. Who says you can't? Who says you can't? If you got it at the core of your being, even though you have a job, a family, and stuff, if you're doing everything that you can from that frequency of love within you, oh, it's going to show. It's going to show in everything that you do. And just think if other people, you were surrounded by people like that. Just think. So your word, I'm about done. I hope it made sense. Build a fortress of trust with your words. Your words should heal more than they should wound in every single type of relationship out there. across the board. You want to build each other up. You do. You want love to be that frequency that comes from you. Now, I'm going to warn you, there are frequencies inside of people that don't, love is not the core. And you're going to feel that frequencies, and it's going to buffer. They're going to buffer you, push you back like that. They ain't going to want to hear nothing about it. Zilcho. They don't want to hear about it. It's all mushy and it's not real. Then don't cast your pearls before them. Don't do it, you all. I mean, you can be nice, but don't continue to do it over and over again and be a doormat. Okay, don't. Just tend to your relationships, no matter what your relationships are. And if it's possible, just be at peace with everyone. As long as it depends on you, you do your part. But don't become a doormat. Don't do it. So I am going to go. I am. And relationships are very important to me. All types of relationships, they are. And not just me, to a lot of other people. We want love. We want more love in the people, in the world. We want to see the love inside here. We want to feel the frequency coming out. Even though there's not very many of us on this earth, in the real world, there's not, you all. You know there's not, because we know what we're going to be expecting. The love of most will wax cold. It will grow cold inside the individuals. You won't be able to see it anymore. So we have an opportunity right now, we do, to make sure that doesn't become us. You don't want that love inside of you to wax cold, go cold. No, you want it to grow. You want to nurture it. You want to water it. You want to feed it. You want to embrace it. You want to become love. Every single part of you. It doesn't mean that you're not going to stumble and fall and make mistakes. It doesn't mean any of that. You're human in this body. Nobody's perfect. We can strive to be perfect. We can. And it's love. God is love. So I'm going to go, and this is going to be a recording that you're listening to. So may the peace that passes all understanding fill your heart this day. And hello, wherever you are, in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. It's 2:22 p.m. as I'm saying this. Love you.